Greetings everyone, here's Lodrik again, and this is a Game War in the Pacific Admins Edition. This is my play by email match against Deaniks. He's a Japanese player, and for me it is Allied side. 20th January 1942. A little slow this last days, but Japan took Palmbang, and I was not really able to inflict high casualties on this Japanese operation. Tuna is again missing target. He is hit but no explosion. Missing enemy submarine at Pearl Harbor. No hit. This was my light tanker convoy, supplying all the surrounding islands with fuel. One of my light cargo ships is also transporting here some fuel to the local islands without escort because it's too low level priority for me wasting the escorts. So I lose this cargo ship, but this kind of cargo ships I don't really have any use. My daily bombardment of the Japanese troops in Rangoon. This is where I can usually use my cruisers well. I'm surprised that no player ever did this against my Japanese attempts to take the city so far. I thought there is maybe some problem, but I think it works fine. It's not that you can win with this, but you can really keep the enemy under pressure. Next hit but no explosion. Miss. So a lot of submarine activity, but only the Japanese had the success. But I do not really care this. My Navy search attacks the enemy retreating fleet, but my submarines was not able to hunt them down. Enemy's Navy search over Singapore. And enemy carriers are moving up north to Rangoon. Maybe they won't hunt my cruiser formation. So first ground attacks in China, nothing special here, only more casualties and more. Tojos over Singapore. Nothing else. But my local minesweeper may be damaged by an enemy Navy search drop bomb. Yeah, and my cap with this or my Navy search gets destroyed by a local cap of the carrier fleet. But it's okay, I lose one Navy search and I know where's the enemy location. No Navy strike at all from the Japanese side today. The daily bombardment near Chuchangcha. It's always the same and nothing really changed. The Japanese attacked Loyang and I just escaped. Lucky. Take the city. I am not worried. Good. So it is still more or less for me a retreat, but a strategic retreat with strongholds. I will try to make a stand. But if I realize that it is simply not possible, like in China, then I have to fall back and find better terrain and shorten the front line or something like this. Not that you really care too much the front line in this game. Good, then see you soon. So again, a turn with not a lot of action. Again, aircraft lost on both sides. For me, a Navy search getting killed by Cap. And the Japanese lose a recon aircraft. The pilot is fine today. Ship sunk. I lost a light cargo ship with California, Los Angeles, and the other one was dropped by 60 kilogram Navy search bomb. So this is a Wal dive bomber. Navy search, you always have only the extended range, I think, bomb load. So this is 60 kilo for this kind of aircraft. Nothing else happened here today. Still fine. Some Japanese submarines here. Who cares? Californian also looks fine. Some submarine is here. But I was able to get some supply or fuel to this base. In this base, this was a point that I have here local minesweepers running directly out of this base and can refuel here. So that I know there's no enemy mines directly in front of Los Angeles and San Diego, something like this. It's only, why not? Alaska also looks fine, also never get any detection here, so I guess here's no one. Was similar to Pago Pago, never ever I saw any Japanese ship coming close to Fiji or Pago Pago. My forward, I mean I get detection here, but no Navy strike. So I think it's maybe only Navy search running here around, but so far not the best Navy search. My tanker arrived here to give my Navy submarine base some fuel that I can refuel here. I have a lot of submarines here. All the S-boats are nearby. They don't have the range, so I need some tanker nearby. And then I can run here my submarines always near to Rabaul and get a maybe better chance to intercept something. Nothing really here. Dutch East Indies looks fine. No attempt from the Japanese to rush the east coast of Borneo. Nothing really at the Philippine Sea. The cargo ship is done with unloading. I'm also, by the way, I was able to repair 3 of my heavily damaged submarines from the first day of the war. So that was good. I lost still 6-7 submarines here at Manila, but not a dozen or more. This is the invasion fleet with cover force is retreating, and something else is also here. And the carriers are here, Kuala Lumpur. So maybe they're trying to help and do something at Rangoon. But I will prepare. I mean, at least I try to prepare a little. The Dutch are trying to reach Oosthaven now before the regiment catch me again. Singapore itself looks fine, no damage, still building up, getting the airfield to 7 to get here a little better coordination and more striking power out of the base, because I'm a little limited here early on with only maximum 300 strike aircraft. This could be a little too less if the enemy have 50, 60, 70 fighters. Much more is here unloading. I have maybe an idea what I can do, but I need some more days to heat up the action around Singapore. And so far no one ever come for Singapore. So I have now 773 aviation support behind level 3 fort, similar to Rangoon, light urban double defense terrain. And here at Rangoon, nothing really new. Every day I make more bombardments, more convoys coming with supplies, sometimes low, sometimes big. This guy had simply not enough supplies in the base, so I let them still run. 20,000 supplies are still something I can use here at Rangoon. But it's really not a problem of supplies. Burma is well supplied, and Very slowly, I think the supplies will also enter China. Problem is still that many of the Chinese forces have low supply, and all the supplies is going into the units, not into the base. So I still have lack of supplies at the front line. And this will never really change. Maybe I need 1 month to do this. So I don't know how many more supplies I must dump into Burma to get them. And of course, once Rangoon is lost, no option more to really send any supplies via shipping directly to China. Then I must make the air cargo shipping. But I don't try this up to now because I have other things to airlift. Most of my cargo capacity airlifting is now hard working in Singapore. I try to lift out and save whatever is here behind the line and bring everything to Singapore. And I was able, I think, to air transport 100 AV to Singapore, maybe even more. And this is only AV. There's also more equipment, what is not AV, is helping me in Singapore now. So I guess this is all. So no real problem to play allies, I would say. It's so logistic and much easier and much less stress. Losing here ships or equipment is really not giving me any problem, because I would always say every day I get more equipment than I lose so far. I could maybe simply check fast what is now the situation. Of course, fog of war, so I don't know if it's true, but this is a reported sunk loss for the Japanese. 1, 2, 3 heavy cruisers, a light cruiser, and a little other equipment. Not really. First, this is not all what is for sure sunk. And the heavy cruisers, I'm only sure 1 sunk. 2 others, I'm not so sure. The light cruiser and 1 heavy cruiser. Kokai and Kinyu is for sure lost. This other 2, I'm not so sure. And for me, of course, I lost equipment, but Lexington lost, Repulse, Prince of Wales, and Charlotte. These are the 3 big ones. Mauritius is a Fiji class cruiser. That was really unlucky. I mean, not unlucky, but Repulse, Prince of Wales, and Mauritius was all a little my mistake. Lexington and Charlotte was for me a stand. I did this on purpose. I say I fight with these 2 carriers at Port Moresby with local cap, and if the Japanese are able to be successful, then they are successful and give Deaniks this victory. But I think it's a Pyro's victory because he's bleeding his carrier air fleet dry with this kind of stuff. If you check the air losses, you can see that the Japanese lost nearly 800 aircraft. And if you check what kind of aircraft the Japanese lost, it is tons of zeros, Navy long-range torpedo bombers, dive bombers, torpedo bombers, long-range torpedo bombers. Yeah, I must better take only Japanese. And Mavis is also long-range torpedo bombers. Navy. This is Navy. All is Navy. First here is Oscar starting, and then we have Navy again. And most of this is torpedo bombers. So you can train torpedo bombers, but it's always a question of time and capacity. Good, see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.